Yeah. Hi, everyone. How's it going? So we also attempted to solve the problem that the last team did. We approached it in a slightly different way. We wanted to combine the experience of being able to submit your fossils to poor Carl with a learning experience where the people who are interested in fossils, interested in what's being found around, being able to look and see what's been submitted, swipe through it, and see if they agree that it's a fossil. They're like, whoa, Carl, like maybe you're wrong. Like, I think this is a fossil, right? So you can vote, you can see what Carl said, you can have your input about the important scientific discoveries in your area. So the first thing that I want to do is to introduce our app. We developed Foss'L, aka Tinder for fossils. And we have a really amazing team of people working on this. This is all the team. For design, we had Laura, Stan, and Kathy. Do you guys want to? Yeah, these guys. Myself, Jesse, and Alec worked on the front-end design. And our amazing team of back-end developers, Alex, Emily, Diana, and Jim, these guys. And we also want to give a huge shout-out to Mike, because he's the man. He really helped us get all of the data into a functional state. There was like 4 different steps in the getting this back-end data into a database where it was like usable. So from scraping out of Carl's emails into a usable database, that was some work. So thank you very much, Mike. All right, so our issue, the problem that we were trying to solve, is right now all of these fossils are just being emailed to Carl. You're like, how can we make this better? So we decided to develop a mobile app. And so it's half Carl giving his input and half crowdsourcing what people think it might be. Then it's kind of a fun gamification and learning experience. So we're going to go to a quick demo of what our site looks like. And so here is what, if you log in and you want to give your input about whether something's a fossil or not, you log on and you see the fossil's profile, and you're like, oh, fossil. And you can see what this amazing, intrepid fossil explorer has submitted to Carl. You're like, hey, Carl, I definitely found a super valuable fossil. It's definitely a saber-toothed tiger. I agree, so I'm going to vote yes. I voted yes. Ideally, at this stage, we could see what Carl has said about the fossil and whether we were right or wrong. We were not able to implement that yet, but that would be a next step. Maybe this one. Hey, I don't really think this is a fossil, so we're gonna say no. We voted no. So we have this stack of fossils that have been submitted, and you can spend all day being like, yes, no, just like on Tinder. It's really quite a fun game. And if you are very inspired and you go out walking one day and you happen to find a fossil, like happens a lot, right? You can submit your own. And we have a couple guidelines. Similar, we wanted to streamline the process, give people instructions about how to submit valuable photos with scales in focus, obviously, say where you got it, a little bit more about what you think it might be, and then you can submit your fossil into the database and have Carl respond to you. So, do you want to talk about future states?
Yeah. So some of the things we weren't able to implement during the hackathon, but we're hoping to add on for the future. So one of the features is geolocation. And so one of the things you can enter right now is like a zip code. And so you're like, well, I found it in 10024, but that's not very specific, right? Because a zip code could be like 3 miles across. And so you could put in a specific address, and then it could pinpoint exactly where it is, and then give you the latitude and the longitude. And then that will be posted along with the rest of the information for the fossil. So in addition to that, we also wanted to create something for the paleontologist and for Carl, because in the end, it doesn't make sense if you guys have a slick mobile app and he doesn't really get anything. So we decided to also create an interface for paleontologists to look at all the new submissions, past submissions, and saved submissions. So in addition to that, they can click into each of the submissions and look at the pictures in terms of a carousel, add in some sort of identification number, such as AMH ID or inquiry ID, and then identify it as like a fossil or not a fossil or maybe a fossil, and then give an explanation, and then get back to the person. Because the person who submitted the email in the first place or submitted the post in the first place really wants to know whether or not they have concrete or it was actually a piece of bone. So that's it. Thanks.